Hi my loves, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Here in this channel we talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and anything hair related. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to join the family. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the continuation of the protective styles for hair growth. In my previous video, I told you guys that protective styling is my major secret to hair growth, and I decided to share with you guys 16 protective styles that has helped me to grow my hair to hip length, to help me retain length, to maintain the health of my hair and all that. So in the first part of this series, I shared with you guys about 4 protective styles that you can use for length retention, and I also told you guys my favorite out of the 4 protective styles I mentioned. So you can check the first part of the video in case you missed it. I'll make sure to link it down in the description box below. So today's video is a continuation of the series, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys more protective styles you can use for hair growth. Now without further ado, we are just going to get started, and the first on the list today is crochet. Crochet can be an excellent method of protective styling if done right. When I installed crochet, I didn't really have the best experience with it, but that was because of two things. First of all, the crochet I installed were heavy weight crochet, so you want to make sure that whatever extensions, attachments, or crochet you want to install on your hair, you have to make sure it's lightweight, because the more heavier they are, the more tension is going to create on your hair and the more breakage you are going to get. So you want to make sure that whatever crochet you are installing is lightweight. So the crochet I used back then were too heavy for my hair, and I felt they actually put a lot of tension and traction on my hair. The second thing is that when installing the crochet, in the process of putting in the needle and taking it out, there can be snapping of the hair and breakage. So that is why I said crochet can be an excellent method of protective styling if done correctly. So you want to make sure that while installing the crochet, you are very careful with the needle so that it won't snap on your hair. So when it comes to crochet as a method of protective styling, it has a lot of benefits. First of all, your hair will be tucked away, completely tucked away. So your hair will be in cornrows, your ends will be tucked away underneath the crochet, meaning there is no form of communication between your hair and the environment or the sun or the weather or even your body, and there is no room for there to be friction on your hair, for example when you are lying down on your bed, on your pillows and all that. So crochet entirely tucks your hair away, just like sew-ins and wigs like I talked about in the first part of this video. So it entirely protects your hair from the roots to the ends. Another reason why I love crochet is that it is so easy to install. Like, you can install crochet on your hair by yourself, unlike sew-ins that may require a little form of expertise, because at the moment I can't even install sew-ins on my hair by myself. And the last time I installed sew-in, I think, was about 4 years ago at a hairstylist salon, but ever since I stopped going to hairstylist salons, I have not installed sew-ins. But that is not the case for crochet. With crochet you can install them yourself, and if I decide to install crochet today, I don't need to go to a hairstylist salon. I can literally install it on my hair by myself. Now when it comes to the cons, there is not really much con when it comes to the crochet, apart from the fact that there can be snapping of your hair if not done correctly, and that is why you have to be careful when installing this protective style. Another con that may come with it is that you may experience breakage if the crochet are heavy, like I said earlier in the video. So you can see that with crochet there is not really a lot of cons, especially if done correctly, and it's higher up on the rank when it comes to the different protective styles. I already said in my last video that I am probably going to make another video ranking these different protective styles from the best protective style to the least protective style, because in as much as all these styles can protect your hair, no style is 100% protective. All we can do is try to bring it to 100% as much as we can, but no style is 100% protective. They each have their pros and their cons, and depending on this, one protective style may be better than the other. So I'm going to make a separate video ranking the different protective styles, so make sure to stay tuned for that video. Now for the cons, apart from the fact that they can lead to snapping of your hair if not done correctly and breakage if they are too heavy, another thing is that depending on the type of crochet you install, detangling can also lead to breakage. For example, if you install a crochet that needs detangling, in the process of detangling, since it's attached to your hair, there is going to be tugging and pulling on your hair as you detangle. So this is just just like in sew-ins. Whenever you install a protective style on your hair that may need detangling, that tugging and pulling on your hair can lead to breakage. So the way we can curtail this is to make sure that we are very gentle when detangling, or we install crochet that don't require detangling like braids or twists. So yeah guys, that's it for crochet. Now moving on, the next protective style I'm going to be talking about is threaded twist. This is among my favorite protective styles right now, if not my favorite. Like, I discovered this protective style about 2 months ago, and when I say it has made such a huge difference to my routine, because apart from the fact that it's a protective style, it has other benefits on your hair. So in threaded twist or African threaded twist, all you do is to wrap a thread. You can use a sewing thread, a hair thread, a wool. All you just have to do is wrap this around your hair to give that twist look, and yeah, you are good. I love this protective style for a lot of reasons. First of all, it is so easy to install. Like, all you just have to do is wrap a thread over your hair and you are done. So it is very easy to install. Another thing I like about it is that it is lightweight, except you decide to add extensions. So whenever I install this protective style, I use just my hair. I don't use any form of extensions. So they are usually so lightweight. And like I said earlier, when your protective styles are light, there is less risk of breakage. And since you are only going to be using your hair, the friction that you may get from synthetic materials, from extensions, is not going to be on the hair, because whether we like it or not, extensions are foreign to the hair, so they can cause friction, they can suck up moisture. Yes guys, some extensions can literally suck moisture from your hair, and that is why when you install those type of extensions, you have to up your moisturizing and sealing game. You have to double the amount of product that you would normally need to moisturize and seal your hair. So using extensions on the hair has cons on its own, but that doesn't mean that using extensions are entirely bad for the hair. Using extensions in protective styles like box braids, twists can actually help your hair, because it covers your hair strands, protects your hair. So like I said, every protective style has its pros and its cons, and this is why some protective styles are better than others. Okay, so like I said, the threaded twists are lightweight, so there is less risk of breakage. So when I install these twists, I usually put them in a bun, because like I always say, the aim of protective styles is to protect your ends. If your ends are not protected, it's more of like a low manipulation style. So the way I make this style more protective is to put my twists in a bun. I'm not saying you can't leave your hair down, but you want to make sure that the amount of times you tuck your hair away is more than the amount of times you let your hair down. I hardly let my hair down, and that is because sometimes I can become so obsessive when it comes to protecting my ends. So like I said earlier, apart from the protective styling effect, African threaded twist has other benefits. So it can straighten your hair, and this is one of the reasons I love it. Like, ever since I discovered this style, anytime I want to straighten my hair, I just use it. I don't need heat, I don't need a blow dryer, I don't need a flat iron. All I just have to do is use this protective style. So apart from the fact that it's going to protect my hair, it's also going to straighten my hair. And the truth is, the more kinky and coilier your hair is, the more tendency for it to get tangles, for it to get knots, and for it to break. So the straighter your hair is, the more easier it is for it to manage, the less tangles you get, and the more length retention. So for me, straightening my hair has actually helped me retain length. So the straightening effect from the African threaded twist can actually lead to length retention. Another reason why I like the African threaded twist is that it is very budget friendly. Like, you don't need to purchase any extensions, you don't need any clippings, you don't need to buy anything. All you just need is a moisturizer to moisturize your hair. So you want to make sure that before you install any protective style, your hair is moisturized. So all you have to get is a moisturizer, an oil to seal in after you use your moisturizer, a detangling comb or brush, and a thread. Guys, that is literally all you need, and threads are usually very cheap and inexpensive, so you don't have to break the bank when installing this protective style. Like, even if you are broke, you can install it. So finances is not an excuse for you not to put your hair in a protective style. Now let's move on to the cons part of it, because like I said, every protective style has its pros and its cons. So for African threaded twist, the fact that you are not going to be entirely covering your hair means that there is still going to be some form of exposure. So there's still going to be some form of communication between your hair and the environment, because the thread is not going to cover the hair entirely. Now there is another protective style that involves using the threads to cover your hair entirely, which I'm going to be talking about later on, so please stay tuned. So like I said, the thread is not going to be covering your hair entirely, so there is still going to be some form of exposure to the environment, exposure to the sun, and if you guys didn't know, the sun can actually damage your hair, and that's why I say that whenever you want to go out into the sun, you can use sunscreens on your hair. You can use protective coverings like hats, caps, and all that. And also when you sleep on your bed, your hair is still going to be rubbing on your pillows and all that. So there is still going to be some form of friction. So with African threaded twist, your hair is not entirely protected in a way. There is still form of exposure on your hair, and there is still risk of breakage. The way we can reduce this is by making sure when we want to go out, we use sunscreens on our hair, we use things like hats, caps, and all that. And when we are sleeping, we use either satin or silk pillowcases or satin and silk bonnets. So another pro I forgot to mention is that for the African threaded twist, the moisture in your hair is retained. So I mentioned in the first part of this video that some protective styles are capable of straightening your hair and locking in moisture. Any protective style that has the capacity to straighten your hair may also have the capacity to lock in moisture, because the straighter your hair is, the more easily oils can travel down your hair shaft and the more moisturized your hair will be. So since African threaded twist straighten the hair, this helps to facilitate oils traveling down your hair shaft and consequently moisture retention. So we can see that for African threaded twist, apart from the fact that it's going to protect your hair, it's also going to straighten your hair, and it's also going to lock in moisture. Now moving on, the next protective style I'm going to be talking about is cornrows. So cornrows are one of my favorite protective styles as well. In fact, I am currently on a protective style challenge with cornrows, which I have already shared with you guys. As at the last update I gave, I was 2 weeks into this protective style challenge already. Another update is going to be coming up soon, so please make sure to stay tuned for that. So one thing I like about cornrows is the flexibility that comes with it. First of all, you can install cornrows with just your hair, or you can decide to install cornrows with extensions depending on the look you are going for. Now when you are installing cornrows, you can decide to carry it like that without any other form of style or extensions or clippings and all that. And you may also decide to carry it with those things. For example, you can decide to wear a wig over your cornrow. You can decide to install a sew-in over your cornrow. You can even decide to install crochet over your cornrow. So basically, cornrows are like the foundation for many protective styles. It's a protective style on its own, and it's a foundation for even more protective styles. So there are so many styles that utilize cornrows as a base. For example, like I said, sew-in, wigs, crochet, even clippings. So cornrows are basically one of the most popular protective styles, if not the most popular, because it is utilized in a lot of other protective styles. Now, apart from the flexibility that comes with installing cornrows, another thing I like about it is that your scalp can be well aerated. Like, this is one of the reasons I am so much in love with cornrows. I'm talking about using cornrows without wigs, sew-ins, crochet, or other form of extensions. Now when you decide to use cornrows alone, you would notice that your scalp is well aerated. This may not really be related to lead retention, but sometimes we all need that break. We all need the break from the sew-ins, from the wigs, from our scalp being constantly covered. It's not like male that can splash water on their hair every day or get aeration to their scalp every day. As women, that is actually limited, because when you use all these protective styles like sew-ins, wigs, and the rest that cover your scalp, there may not be any form of aeration to your scalp, and the only time we get that aeration or that cool feeling is probably when we decide to wash our hair or when we install a protective style like cornrows. Now for washing your hair, you can't do that every day. Like there is no way as a woman you want to wash your hair every day unless you decide to cut your hair. But washing your hair every day and shampooing your hair every day is not even recommended, because shampoos contain chemicals that can strip your hair of its natural oils, lead to dryness and all that. So it's not even recommended to wash your hair every day when you are trying to grow your hair longer and retain length. So that is not even possible unless, like I said, you are the type of person that prefers cutting your hair and all that. But the summary of all what I'm trying to say is, most of the time our scalp is covered, tucked away, and cornrows is like an escape from that. Even though our entire scalp may not be exposed, but the part that is exposed does a great job at aerating our scalp. So yes, I love cornrows for these reasons so much. Now when it comes to protecting your hair, if you decide to carry your cornrows like that without any other form of extensions, yeah, it's still going to be some form of communication between your hair and the environment. Like I said, a way of curtailing this is by using things like sunscreen, hats, caps, satin bonnets, and pillowcases. But now when you decide to use other form of protective styles like sew-ins, wigs, crochet, and clip-ins, you are protecting your cornrows. So it's like protecting your protective style, if that makes sense. So it's like a 2-in-1 protective style, and that is why I love styles like that cover your hair entirely, because before you put the final layer of protective style, your hair is already protected on its own. So that's why I love styles like sew-ins, wigs, crochet, and clip-ins. I have personally not installed clip-ins at all, but I may probably try it in the future, who knows. But so far the ones I have installed are sew-ins, wigs, and crochet, and among those three I'll pick sew-ins as my favorite. So yeah guys, that's it for cornrows. Now moving on, the next protective style I'm going to be talking about is flat twist. Now this has almost similar benefits to cornrows in terms of the double protective style effects. You can decide to carry your flat twist with or without extensions depending on the look you are going for, and you can also decide to carry it like that or with an extra layer of protective style like a sew-in, wigs, and the others just like in cornrows. And the cone is actually similar to cornrows, because with flat twist, if you decide to carry it like that, just like in cornrows, there's going to be some form of communication between your hair and the environment. And I've already talked about the way of curtailing this to reduce and prevent breakage. But one benefit flat twist have over cornrows is that flat twist can straighten your hair. In fact, twist in general can straighten your hair. Any form of twist, normal twist with extensions, the African threaded twist, the flat twist, so any form of twisting at all can straighten your hair in comparison to box braids. So for flat twist, it can straighten your hair, meaning there will be more tendency for the oils to travel down your hair shaft and more moisture retention. So flat twist is superior to cornrows in terms of straightening your hair and moisture retention. Now one benefit I feel cornrows have over flat twist is that they last longer, and I feel this is because of the mechanism of the style and because of how the hair strands are directed during the installation of the style. So I feel flat twists get loosened faster at the root compared to cornrows. So guys, we can see that no matter how good a protective style is, there is going to be a downside. It's going to have advantage and disadvantages, and that is why I say no style is 100% protective. So that's why we have to choose our protective styles depending on our goals, what we want, our target, if we want to retain length, if we want to retain moisture, if we want to straighten our hair, or if it's just for aesthetic or beauty purposes. So it all boils down to your choices, your goals, and all of that. So I've mentioned 4 protective styles so far, and that is crochet, the threaded twist, the cornrows, and the flat twist. Now if I am to pick a favorite among these 4, which one do you guys think I would pick? Now if you've been watching my videos, I guess you would know already, but For those of you that are new here, let me just say it. So that is the threaded twist. Like, I have been raving about this threaded twist ever since I started installing them. I use them as a method of protective styling. I use them on my wash routines to straighten my hair and to even dry my hair. Yes guys, that is another benefit of threaded twist that I forgot to mention. So apart from the fact that it's a method of protective styling, it can straighten your hair, it can retain moisture, you can use it to air dry your hair, because most of the time when I want to air dry my hair, I prefer getting my hair straight as much as I can during the air drying process, because if I leave my hair down like that to air dry, guys, my hair is going to look like an afro. Yes guys, I still have a lot of texture in my hair. I say this a lot, I still have a lot of texture in my hair even if I'm relaxed. I use super strength relaxer, but yet I still have a lot of texture. Yeah, it's something I have to deal with, and that is why I have to come up with other healthy ways of straightening my hair, because it is not recommended for you to leave relaxers on your hair for more than the recommended time. If not, it's going to lead to hair damage. So when that 10, 15, 20 minutes is up, I go in and wash off my relaxer, and then after the relaxer process, I can think of other ways to straighten my hair. So that is why after my wash routines during air drying, I find ways to straighten my hair. So before I discovered the threaded twist, the way I usually do this is by either using blow dryers or by using protective styles like twist, braids and all that, so that I won't get that puffy and afro look after drying my hair. But after I discovered the threaded twist, guys, I have not used any other method to air dry my hair. Like, I am so shocked with the straightening effect I get from the threaded twist. So this is what I use to air dry my hair now. So guys, tell me, why wouldn't it be my favorite? Something that has all these benefits, I would definitely pick it over the others. I'll definitely pick it over crochet, over cornrows and over flat twist. Another thing is that you can even use your threaded twist under wigs if you install them right, because the first time I installed my threaded twist, I carried them for about 2 months. For the first 2 weeks to 1 month, I used them out like that, and when they started getting rough, guys, I used them under a wig. So it is still possible for you to use threaded twist under a wig. So something that has all these benefits, tell me why I will pick cornrows, flat twist or crochet over it. So for me, my favorite among these 4 is definitely the threaded twist. Among these 4 I've mentioned, let me know in the comment section down below which one is your favorite. So yes guys, again, this video is getting too long. So we've mentioned 8 protective styles so far. We have like 8 more protective styles to go before we come to an end of this series. So this is where this video is going to have to stop, and another part is going to come up later where I'm going to be sharing with you guys the other protective styles. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you watched it this far and you liked it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So yeah guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.